Hi, I'm Bradley Strandberg.
And I'm Chandler Ushery.
Welcome to Above the Eaves.
Transform your roofing experience with Above the Eaves, the podcast that empowers property owners with essential insights, helping them navigate industry truths, master insurance claims, and make informed decisions with confidence. Listen in and take control of your roofing experience.
Hey everybody, Bradley Strandberg here, and I am here to host your show, Above the Eaves. So, I'm sure a lot of you are asking, what is Above the Eaves? Well, I'm glad you asked that. The truth of the matter is Above the Eaves is a podcast designed to help property owners navigate the roofing industry. All right? The roofing industry is something that's been quite amazing for me anyways. We've gone from this situation to where the roofing industry was just this thing, like you were a roofer, right? And now we've turned this multi-billion-dollar empire into just this wonderful thing. But what happens is not everyone has all the exact knowledge to overcome a lot of the industry stigmas that have been created over this period of time. Additionally, there's been a lot of perceived beliefs that have been put out there into the market. There's been a lot of different updates and trends and changes in the industry. Overall, there's a lot of stuff out there. To simply say it, this is a challenge to bring both the contractor and property owners in and allow better decisions to be made. These decisions are going to be made on actual facts and understandings, and we're going to help you get there. So, why are we qualified to talk to you about this? Well, to tell you a little bit about myself, I've had about 30 years of experience in the roofing industry, and they weren't all like this. As I alluded to earlier, the roofing industry wasn't always this way. When I was a young kid, my father, who owned his own construction company, would pull us out of bed so that we could go tear off a roof on Saturday afternoon while all our friends are out playing. So we had a lot of fun, right?
Right.
No, right? When you're a 15-year-old kid and you're up on top of a roof and it's 100 degrees outside and you're stuck tearing this roof off, it's not a lot of fun. But I did later on find quite a bit of enjoyment and the hard work and the skills that you develop from it. And as a 14, 15-year-old kid, carrying an 85 bundle shingle up a ladder to stage a roof and then doing it 30, 40, 50 times, it really, taught you the value of hard work. But during that hard work, I also learned a lot of things about, how to install a roof. And it's something that doesn't happen a whole lot anymore. But, for years, I would tear off a roof. I would get it all prepped and put the underlayments down and do all that. And then I would pitch shingles to my dad while we put the roof back on. And I watched him shingle over and over and over, until one day I finally picked up the nail gun and said, no, I think I'm going to do this now, right? And so that was kind of the spark. From there I would, by the time I was 16, 17 years old, I was actually doing my own roofs. And so I spent a lot of years, even the years through college and all that other stuff where, having fun and partying and doing all that stuff. I would get my buddies together on the weekend and we'd go tear off a roof and put one back, and we'd have beer drinking money.
Sounds like a wild weekend to me.
Right. It was awesome. It was great, right? And my friends loved it. It's like we looked forward to that. And so, I took that there from the time I was a teenager, and then when I got into my 20s, I got into the sales industry. So I took the roofing labor, turned it into a service consultant or a sales professional, and then from there moved up into sales management, and now I operate as a regional manager for a nationwide company called Re-Roof America Contractors. And so being a second generation contractor and having nearly 30 years of experience, along with the fact that I've personally probably sold, tens of millions of dollars worth of successful projects, I feel like I'm qualified to sit here and talk to all of you. So Chandler, why don't you take a minute, tell the nice people here exactly why you're here.
So my experiences definitely differ from Brad's from a different perspective. So I grew up with my dad and grandfather in the lumber industry, so that's where my kind of beginning started. So they were in that industry for probably 20 years. The beginning whole portion of my life was, me operating a push broom across a, big floor, sweeping lumber and whatnot. But we also, in about 2013, we began distributing shingles as well. I do remember having the GAF shingles. We had, I didn't know anything about them. I just knew that they were heavy and I had to load them. But there was, all the different colors. And, of course, they were only the architectural shingles, so I kind of got a little bit of a taste there. And then in 2018, my dad sold that lumber company and then ended up starting a company called Maxfelt, which is a roofing distribution company. And so I got to learn a little bit about that. So I've been around that type of industry for a while. Before that, even as far as career goes, when I was 18 and 19, I did some professional hunting apprenticeship in Africa for about 2 years with big game. Had a lot of fun, great life experience, but nothing that can really translate into this besides, hard work. And then after that, I graduated college from Mississippi State, got into sales. That's what that's where my passion was. That's what I wanted to master. Worked for a credit card processing company for about a year and a half. Learned some great skills, and really honed in on what I wanted to do. And then from there, met Brad. Really loved Brad and his mission, and I'm here now, and that's why. That's my why.
Yeah, I can totally get on board with the whole pushing the broom thing.
Oh yeah,
I got my experience there too.
Yeah, I'm a master in the push broom.
Yeah, I was always told if you got time to stand, you got time to sweep.
That's a good rule of thumb.
So, so what Chandler's also not told you is that at the end of the day, he brings a lot to the table here with Re-Roof America Contractors as well. This podcast, all this was put together by him. I appreciate the sentiments that he's kind of growing to understand what we're doing here. And ultimately, that's exactly what we want to bring out here to you guys. And so, but if you like what you're listening to and you like our setup and kind of how things are done, I got to give credit to Chandler on that one. He's the brains behind all of this. So, let's get into it, right? Part of the show means we need to talk about a topic. Right. So I figured since this is our very first episode that we probably ought to talk a little bit more about kind of what the show's set up, what our intentions are, kind of the information that we're going to go over, all the kind of nuts and bolts to what we want our audience to listen to.
Yeah, sure.
And so, the question becomes then, how did we come up with the idea to start the podcast?
Right. Great question.
So, ultimately, we've seen through industry trends over the last, we'll say 20 years, because really it's kind of happened since like cell phones come around and internet really kicked off and the world got really busy all of a sudden.
Yep, leaving the industrial age to go into the information age. Big steps.
Big steps, right? So the same thing happened with inside of the roofing industry. So now we had a chance in the roofing industry to work remotely. Right, so our guys in the field had ways to communicate back to locations that didn't even need to be right there and present in those things. So this industry bloomed, right? Insurance companies got involved, and next thing you know, we took this multi-million-dollar industry into hundreds of billions of dollars, and so the whole industry is now even making billions of dollars off of training people to be good roofing salespeople, to be good sales managers, to be good production managers, right? There's courses, there's consultings, there's business operations and people who come in and show you how to start your own roofing company and make millions of dollars. But the one thing that is across the board that has been pretty obvious to me is nobody's taken the time to do similar type of trainings with property owners.
You're right. No one talks about it.
That's, and you get people who might not have the experience necessary to properly educate a homeowner on decisions, and maybe their decisions are a bit biased because they want to make the sale.
Right.
This is a commission-based industry.
It is.
So when they don't make sales, you don't make money, right?
Right.
So how do you know that you're getting the right information?
Right.
And so that's what we want to do here. We want to take all the knowledge that we gain from all these great leaders in our industry, and I want to bring you behind the curtains. I want to show you and tell you and talk to you all about the things that we do and why we do them, right? Because I don't think ultimately anyone does anything on purpose to cause problems or to cause issues out there. But I think by not having both sides of the party here educated on proper decisions and industry trends and things that we're going to talk about, I think one side benefits better than the other, and I think we can work as a band of brothers to help property owners make the best decision for themselves.
Couldn't agree more with you there, Brad.
So, Chandler, what do you think our intended audience here is?
So I think that our intended audience would be, property owners, from all ranges, anybody that owns a property. And, also I think that, contractors alike would be, we would love to, reach out to contractors and have their insights, and maybe we can even provide some of them with information that they didn't know existed or didn't know there was a stigma or a preconceived belief about this or that, and maybe that could be what's holding them back from making that sale or growing their company. Absolutely.
As I stated before, like, we're really targeting the homeowner property owners. I feel like that's kind of where this knowledge is really going to benefit from. But I too don't discredit if a contractor or a public adjuster or insurance adjuster, anyone who can value from this. I mean, that's what it's here for, right? We're really wanting to make sure that homeowners are wise and making smart decisions, especially when it comes to storm restoration, right? That seems to be where we run into majority of these things that we're going to talk about. But nonetheless, there's only so many roofing professionals out there, and I can't think of too many homeowners that would be roofing professionals.
Nope, me neither.
So, if they don't have the right information or they're not given the right information, then it's really hard to make the right decisions.
Right.
So Chandler, you and I both work for Re-Roof America Contractors.
Right.
What do you think that's like for supporting this show?
What do I think that it's like working for Re-Roof America while having this show?
Sure.
Well, that's an interesting question. I think that us, being backed by a corporation that has, as much experience and the longevity that Re-Roof has, I think that we have, a lot more at our disposal than just me and you to help people. We can kind of take a view of this company and, see how it's changed and how, it started and how it's going now, and we can kind of look at that through an eagle view to kind of, give information that other people could use in this industry as well.
Absolutely. We want our audience to gain a lot out of this show.
Right.
Right. So, the fact that they're going to take the time out of their day, come listen to us, we want you to know that comes and stems from not just us, right? We have a team that supports our efforts that is very wise. I didn't learn this all by myself. In fact, I spent a lot of time piggybacking off of other people in the industry or inside this company to really gain insightful knowledge. And so if you're like me or like Chandler and you're listening to this show, find the people around you to embrace your knowledge, right? There's so much out there. And so if you're a contractor or a PA, find yourself a role model, find yourself someone that you can be coached by or look up to. But ultimately, as a homeowner or a property owner listening to the show, just understand it's not just two guys coming up here. I mean, we bring a lot to the table. The company here, Re-Roof America Contractors, they've been around for 40 plus years. In fact, they were established in 1979. We currently operate in 11 different states. We have many offices throughout those states, 3 of those being right here in Florida where we're at. Additionally, we're a master elite contractor with the largest manufacturer in the United States, known as GAF. We're also a select shingle master with Certainteed, and we have an A+ rating in every location with the Better Business Bureau. So, we come with a lot of influence. Part of that influence is to help people with their properties. And we do that with our integrity intact. We make sure that the decisions that we are making are honorable and that we are providing transparent information, whether it's regarding your insurance process or that we're selling you actual products that you need. So that's a little bit about Re-Roof America. So at this point, I'm kind of hoping that that you guys are all kind of grabbing a hold of what we're kind of getting at. What do you think, Chandler?
Just to kind of recap what you were saying, Brad, I think the only thing that I have left to say really would be that, we're not here to sell something. We're not here to do anything other than educate property owners and contractors alike just on these different things, these changes, and, the preconceived beliefs as we've been discussing about this industry, because roofing really is a slippery slope, and a lot of people don't realize that it's a slippery slope until they're already on that slope. And then, when you're there and, the contractor's at your house and you're the homeowner and he's asking you questions or telling you that you need a repair or replacement, how do you know what he's saying is factual, and how do you kind of navigate through all of that? And, that's what we're trying to help with, because, we see it all too often where, these property owners just, they don't hardly know anything. And I'm not saying, that's a bad thing, because how would you expect them to? There's not, most people don't want to go out on their own and try to learn any of this information, because we understand that it's not the most exciting thing to talk about. And we're not talking about it because it's exciting. Yeah, we're talking about it because we want to get this message out.
Yeah, you're not going to go to Barnes & Noble and pick up the how to close the deal on my, or how to navigate the roofing claim on my.
Exactly. It's not something that you're going to be just, crazy about. You don't want to, you're not listening to this every morning, waking up and starting your day with Above the Eaves, Yeah,
right. Yeah, get your cup of coffee. Got to get my Above the Eaves in,
yeah.
Right? But, I mean, and that's the thing, too, right? I mean, we're hoping that people gain knowledge. We know that we're not going to, we're not Joe Rogan here, and we're not going to be killing the highlights of the news and the media. And, we're not the buzzword or the hot topic of the week.
Right.
But the information here is really valuable. I mean, it may not be fun, but if you catch yourself in a circumstance to where you need a roofing replacement, or maybe you own a condo in a big building and the HOA is trying to, throw a $250,000 bill at you, right? I mean, don't you want to know what the facts are behind that? Is that something that you have to do or that you need to do? Are there other options available for you, right? So let's get to the facts of it, and we live here in Florida. So I think it's worth noting that things are different in different locations.
Right.
I've worked across the Midwest. I've worked in the Texas market. I've worked in the Florida market. I've worked across the country in a number of different places. So I fairly understand some of the difference of it, but I can't say that we're going to get it all right, or that what we're saying is going to relate to every market everywhere. So, take it with a grain of salt, and that's another reason why we have this ability for you to contact us, right? If you're in a place and you need us, right? Give us send us an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us how they can get a hold of us.
Yeah, so the best way that you can reach out to us currently through this podcast is going to be at Above The Eaves at reroofamerica.com. And, we would love to hear from you guys. We're trying to, make this, as easily accessible to you guys as possible. We want to be able to interact with you guys and answer your questions. That's why we're here. We're here to educate and we're here to inform. So if you have any questions or if you think that we can help you in any way in those areas, we would love to help. That's the purpose of this podcast. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, we're going to keep talking whether you guys contact us or not.
Yeah, we are.
So if you want your specific items discussed on our show, then you got to reach out to us. Right. And, that's the best way you can get a hold of us. We're really here for you guys. And as we move through each one of these episodes, we're going to try and talk about things that are happening now, but we're also going to try and keep a kind of a show and a movement that helps educate you throughout the entire process of your roof replacement or insurance claim or things like that. So we're going to try and stick with those topics as they correlate to one another so that we don't have this bouncing around effect. So if we haven't got to your question, then just keep listening, hang on. We're going to get to it because everybody's questions are relevant, and that's what we're here to do. So, I want to share with you guys the fact that what we're doing here, we're doing for free. While we do work for a roofing company and that we are hoping that we're gaining insights and value to our customers, we also understand that, these are some things that we just want to do. So it's not like we're asking you to call us. We're not going to take on advertisements. There's really a lot bigger picture here. So if you've gained insights or you've gained some knowledge or you found the information extremely valuable, the best thing you can do for us is share the show. Okay? If you spread the word, then we're getting closer to completing our mission, which is to educate property owners to make wiser decisions. We don't do advertisements, like I said. We're doing it on our own time, and we're doing it for you.
That's right.
So, that being the case, we're going to close up our first episode here. How'd you think that went, Chandler?
I think it went pretty well. I enjoyed our time. I thought we provided some useful information just as a basic scale for people to understand, who we are and what we're doing. So I think we got all our bases covered there. Yeah,
so stay tuned because there's going to be more to come, right? We're going to bring it to you. We're going to start with the basics and, we're going to build up from there. But in the meantime, we want to thank you for your time. I'm Bradley Strandberg.
And I'm Chandler Ushery. Make a smart choice. Listen in today for peace of mind tomorrow.
Thank you for tuning in to Above the Eaves. Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a rating and review to help us improve and reach more listeners like yourself. Be sure to share this podcast with friends and family. And stay tuned for more exciting episodes to come. Stay strong, be smart, and make great decisions.